Secrets of the Magic Deck. The Magic Deck holds many secrets, but I will explain just one of them for now that is fundamental to all the effects in this course. When you receive the deck, take a look at the seal that holds the box closed. You will see some initials. In this case, there is a 10 and the design of a heart. That means 10 of hearts. This tells me that the special card in this box is the 10 of hearts. We call this special card the Force card. I will explain more about the Force card later. It might be a different card in your box, but your Force card will be one of the following cards: the 4 of spades, the 4 of diamonds, the 10 of hearts, the 2 of clubs, the 9 of diamonds, or the 10 of spades. The reason being for the choice of these specific cards is the fact that you can invert them and they would still have the same aspect when seen by the spectator. Something that will reveal to be very important later on. As I say, your box might contain a different set of initials on the seal and therefore a different Force card. But this one tells me that the Force card in this box is the 10 of hearts. Now let's open the box and take a closer look of everything you'll find inside. You will receive, the first thing, a card with instructions, QR code that points to the website where you are actually watching this video right now. Then you receive 2 groups of cards. One is 27 cards that are the Force card. In my case, as we saw in the seal, the 10 of hearts, 27 cards. We will only use 26. But keep this one because it's going to be very important to have an extra one of the Force cards. The other group of cards are 26 and they are indifferent cards, as we will call them from now on. 26 indifferent cards, 26 Force cards. That's 52 cards in total. And that's the first secret of the Magic Deck. And here is another secret. All these cards, the Force cards, are slightly shorter than the indifferent cards. That will make possible some incredible effects, as you will see. Begin by setting up the cards like this. You gather all the indifferent cards, you gather all the Force cards, grab the indifferent cards pile on your right hand, face up, and the pile of the Force cards on your left hand. Start by putting on the table one of the Force cards, followed by one of the indifferent cards, and so on till you use all the cards in both of your hands. Now, square up the cards and then turn them face down. Your Magic Deck is now fully assembled. On the bottom should be an indifferent card, and on the top you should find one of the Force cards. You are all ready to go to the next stage, Level 1 Techniques. Level 1 Techniques. Refill display. Take a look at the Magic Deck now you have assembled it. The cards alternate. Force card, indifferent card. Force card, indifferent card. Force card, indifferent card, and so on, right through the deck. You have seen that half of this deck is composed of the force card. But look what happens when I flick through them. All the cards look completely different. You don't see any of the force cards. This is because each force card is slightly shorter than the following indifferent card. And if you flick through the cards like this, the cards fall in pairs. One pair, another pair, another pair, till the last pair. A different card is in front of each pair, and a force card is on the back of that same pair. Let me show you again. Hold the cards like this, fingers on the bottom and the thumb on the top of the short edge, and riffle slowly like this. The forefinger pushes against the back of the deck, springing the cards off the thumb. Practice it slowly at first and not too fast. Give the spectators enough time to see the faces of the cards. You will soon get the hang of it, and this is how you begin your performance, by showing that the deck is apparently composed of 52 different cards. Level 1 techniques. Cutting the deck. Place the deck on the table and give it a cut like this. Then complete the cut. If I turn the top card over, it will be the force card. That's the 10 of hearts in my deck. Let me do it again and explain why does this work. I cut, I complete, and the force card, it's on top. This works because of the force cards being shorter than the indifferent cards. And when I cut the deck, I do so by taking it at the short ends. Fingers on the front short edge of the deck and thumb at the inner short end of the deck. Cut, complete, and the force card is on top. I can also cut the deck into several packets like this. As long as I cut the deck at the short ends, there will be a force card on top of each of the packets. That will come in useful in some of the effects explained later. You can gather all the packs in any order. And your force card and indifferent cards will still alternate throughout the entire deck. Level 1 techniques. Forcing a card. Now let me explain why we use the term force card. Lots of effects begin by asking someone, the spectator, to select a card. But if a magician wants a spectator to select a specific card, they call it forcing a card. The magic deck enables you to force a card on a spectator. In this deck, the force card is the 10 of hearts. Using this deck, I can ask the spectator to select a card, and I can guarantee it will be the 10 of hearts. Let me show you how this works. Let's imagine you want to do a trick for a friend. Take the deck from the box and show the cards to your friend by riffling throughout them like this. Tell your friend that you have been reading a book of memory and that you would like to try an experiment. Tell them you want them to take a card from the deck but not look at it, so you will do it in a different way. Put the deck face down on the table and show them how to cut the deck, like this. Do it again so everything is clear. Then ask them to cut the deck exactly as you do it and complete the cut. Let them try it for themselves. Make sure they cut the cards with the fingers at one end of the deck and the thumb at the other end of the deck, and let them do it again. If they cut the deck in exactly the same way you did, they will bring the force card to the top. Ask them to take the top card and, without looking at it, put it in their pocket. Now you already know the name of the card they have taken. It is the force card. In my case, this is for sure the 10 of hearts. But it wouldn't be very dramatic if you just called out the name of the card. You want them to believe in your story about reading a book on memory. So you do a little acting. Pick up the deck and riffle through it again. Pretend that you are memorizing the cards as you see them going through. Concentrate for a moment, as if you really are trying to guess which card is missing from the deck. And then you say, okay, 3 cards are missing from this deck. 2 are jokers, and 1 is your card. The deck is short 1 red card. It's a heart, a 9, no. It's a 10. The 10 of hearts is missing. And if it's missing from this deck, it must be the card in your pocket. Take a look. Your friend take a look at the card, and they discover it is indeed the missing 10 of hearts. Note that you pretend to name the wrong card at first. You are off by 1. This little touch will make your memory trick much more convincing than if you named it correctly right away. It's called showmanship, and showmanship makes for great magic. By the way, congratulations! You have just performed your first magic effect. Level 1 techniques. Dribble force. Here is another way of forcing a card. You can dribble the cards from one hand to the other like this. It is very like the riffle display you learned earlier. The fingers are on the outer short end of the deck. The thumb is on the inner short end of the deck. The forefinger is curled on top of the deck and applies a little pressure. Press with the forefinger and you can let the cards dribble into the other hand. I'll do it a few times so you can see it clearly. As with the riffle display, the cards fall in pairs. Try it for yourself. The cards are dribbling from one hand to the other, which is why we call this technique the dribble force. Here is how you use the dribble force. Begin by using the riffle display to show the deck. And then tell the spectator you will dribble the cards from one hand to the other like this. But you will tell that at any point they can call out stop, and the moment they do, you will stop dribbling the cards like this. Stop, and you stop. Ask them if they are ready to begin. Square the cards and slowly dribble the cards from one hand to the other. The moment they call stop, you stop dribbling the cards. You show them the card they stopped at, this one. Show them this card and ask them to remember it. It's very important they remember it. If you have more than one spectator, then show it to them too and ask them to remember the card. It would be unfortunate if after all your work no one remembered the card that had been chosen. To recap, dribble the cards, spectator says stop, show the card. It's the force card. Now that you have forced the card, what can you do with it? Well, for that you should go to the next step in the course, and I look forward to seeing you in Level 1, Beginner's Tricks. Find the card. In this effect, once the spectator chose a card, saw it, memorized it, in this case the force card is the 10 of hearts, you lose the card in the deck by placing the other half. You can cut several times, and there's a moment where you'll invite the spectator to call out stop as you deal little packets of cards onto the table. So you start cutting little portions till the moment where the spectator says stop. Once he says stop, you stop there and ask him, would you like to have this card or this card? Whatever he chooses, you proceed accordingly. So if he chooses this one, you say, oh, here it is. It's your chosen card. If he chooses this one, you finish the same way. Oh, it's your chosen card. Of course, everything else is self-explanatory. You know about forcing the card, then you lose it, you can cut a couple of times, and now it doesn't matter whether the spectator says stop, you will always stop at the force card, both here and here. Here's a force card, here's a force card. As you progress cutting the deck, same situation. There's a force card and there's a force card. This is valid all throughout the different cuts that you are doing. Once you stop, two things might happen. He might choose this one or this one. If he chooses this one, you then gather the cards by placing this half on top, then the selection, then you cut, and it's instant reset. The other thing that might happen is that he picks the card on your left hand. In that case, you take the left pile on top of the one on the table, put this on top, give it a cut, and again, instant reset. Ambitious card. Here is a plot that we'll be revisiting in each of the 3 levels of this course. It's a classic of magic, and here is the simplest version you can do right away. Spectator chooses a card, you show the card. Yes, the force card. In my case, 10 of hearts. You leave it in the deck, you can cut several times, and then you announce that you will make the card rise in the deck. You believe that he's probably in position 37 right now, and slowly, as you ask her to come up, now it's 25, maybe 17, give it a little bit more time, maybe 13 now, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, the card is on top. Was this your card? Yes, it's correct. It's the ambitious card. Well, you can repeat it right away. You say that you are going to do it really, really, really slowly. So they can confirm it's a chosen card. You leave it on the table like this. Clearly, it's in the middle. You put the rest of the deck on top of the first half of it, and then you say, okay, you want to see one more time? Yes, it's your card. It's the 10 of hearts. And then slowly, you put it in the deck and you wait. As you command the card to come up, yes, almost arriving, hey, hurry up. And yeah, once again, the chosen card rises to the top. And this is the simplest version you can do of the ambitious card. ACAN, which stands for any card at any number, a classical plot in card magic that we'll be revisiting in each of the 3 levels of this course. The effect, it's very simple, yet incredibly effective, even with this simple presentation. You ask a spectator to call out stop, card is chosen. Yes, it's the force card, in this case, the 10 of hearts. The selection is lost in the deck. You can cut several times, and then you'll ask a spectator to call out a number. Any number between 1 and 52, and whatever number he calls out, you will find the chosen card. Well, the way this works, it's because the deck is arranged in a way that you have first, you have force card, then indifferent card, then force card, then indifferent card, and so on, all throughout the deck. And in this case, that is the 10 of hearts. So as you can see here from top down when you are holding the deck, position 1 is a force card, position 3 is a force card, and 5 and 7 and 9 and 11. So all the odd numbers, all the odd positions are occupied by a force card. On the other hand, the even positions, let's say position number 2, 4, 6, 8 till 52, is positions that are occupied by even numbers. So, two things might happen. Spectator calls out an even number or an odd number. If he calls out an odd number, it's direct. Whatever number he says, 27, 17, 21, you just count and you will find the chosen card at that exact position. If he calls out an even number, well, you rephrase it a little bit by saying that I'm going to count down the number that you just said, and if he wants to change his mind, you can ask him if he wants to change his mind. But once you get the number, you count down the cards and then you call attention to the next card. So let's see what would happen with the number 7. Number 7, which is an odd number, you will count on the table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this will be the chosen card. Yes, the 10 of hearts. But if instead of odd number, in this case number 7, if the spectator would have called out an even number, let's say 12, well, you would continue counting. This would be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the next card, once you count the 12, will be, for sure, yep, the force card, the spectator selected card, in this case, the 10 of hearts. Card to impossible location. Another one of those 5 classical plots in card magic that we'll be visiting in each of the 3 levels of this course. In this case, you ask the spectator to call out stop. It chooses a card. Yes, it's going to be the force card, in this case, the 10 of hearts. The selection is lost in the deck. You can cut several times, and then you announce that you will produce an impossible situation. When you grab the deck, the selection is inside. You don't even know what's the card, and then you do something like, did you notice that? Yes, it kind of moved. Well, first, let's see. Can you see your card here? And you ask the spectator. He will obviously reply, no. And then you say, yeah, that's because it's just traveled from inside the deck into the box. Remember, it moved a little bit? Yes. So you open the box, and inside, there it is, the selection. Well, it's very simple to do it. Remember that you received an extra forcing card? This is the moment where you can use it. Leave it inside the deck. Do not call attention to the deck, to the box, just leave it there, and now you know everything else. Card is chosen, then it's lost, cut, 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 and then once you ask the spectator, can you see your chosen card? You will always say no, since you are displaying the deck in the way that all the force cards are hidden. Then, if he cannot see it, it's because it's gone. And if it's gone, let's now find the place where it just appeared. And this will be inside the box. Well, if instead of putting this extra card inside the box, you place it in your father's jacket pocket, in your mother's purse, or in any other impossible location, then it's going to be a real miracle. Pendulum. Here is a couple of ideas using a pendulum. Basically, spectator chooses a card, the force card, in my case, 10 of hearts. The selection is lost in the deck cuts several times, and then you do 5 piles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 piles. You introduce the the pendulum. He will help you finding the selected card. You give the pendulum to the spectator and ask him to hold it on top of each of the 5 piles. He should do it a couple of seconds on top of each of the 5 piles. You also should instruct the spectator to interpret the movements of the pendulum, whatever that means. And the spectator will do so. He will come to amazing conclusions. And once those conclusions arrive till the end, for sure, he will have selected one of the piles that for some reason are giving a different signal. Well, separate that pile. You don't need the pendulum anymore, and as you remind spectator what just happened, you eliminate the other 4. But do that in a way that you expose several times several indifferent cards. Leave the cards aside. Remind spectator that he was the one, with the help of the pendulum, to choose this pile. And let's see why the pendulum was behaving so weirdly. Yes, it's the chosen card. Well, there are several ideas that you can use based on this 5 piles technique. As you know, once you do the 5 piles, it's automatic that on top of each of the 5 piles there will be one of the 4 cards. Of course, the audience doesn't know this, and they believe that the chosen card is simply lost in one of them. And the job is actually to find which pile is hiding the chosen card. So another idea would be, for instance, to use a coin. And you hold the coin and you briefly stop on top of each of the piles, and the spectator will decide that you should leave the coin here or here or here or here or there. But prepare the coin in a way that in one of the sides you write with a Sharpie or any permanent marker, you write the name of the 4th card. In this case, I would have made a 10 and a heart, 10 of hearts. And now the spectator decides which pile. You leave the coin, you separate the pile, again, show in different cards in a casual way, and then you put the coin aside, or you grab the selection with the coin, put it aside. One more time you can put this there, and now separate the coin, show it's a chosen card, but also show that on the coin is written the name of the card. Another idea would be to, once you ask the spectator to choose a card, yes, the 4th card, 10 of hearts, you ask him to write the name of the card in a piece of paper and crumple it up into a little ball. You give this ball to another spectator of his choice. Meanwhile, you cut the deck in 5 piles. You instruct the new spectator to hold the crumpled ball inside a closed fist and to wave the fist on top of each of the 5 piles. You'll feel a special energy, or not, but you say that. And eventually the spectator will stop in one of the 5 piles. When the selection is clear, because the energy was felt, you push that pile apart, again, gather all the others, leave them there, say, oh, you felt something special, leave the crumpled ball on the table next to the top card, and then you eliminate also these cards. And now you turn over the card, it's the selected card, you open the paper, and everything is confirmed, and it's a miracle that was just produced by you. Three cards at once. In this effect, you'll create the illusion that you'll be able to locate 3 cards chosen by 3 different spectators. This is suitable for larger audiences. So start by identifying in the room a spectator that is located on your right, another one in front of you, and another one on your left. You will approach individually each of these 3 spectators, and as you do so, you ask them to stand up. What will happen is that you will dribble force the same card to the 3 spectators in the room. But somehow the idea that they will be picking 3 different cards is going to be clear for everyone, even those 3 spectators. So you approach the first spectator. You ask him to stand up. You dribble force. He calls out stop. You show him, and only him, the card that he just chose, the force card, the 10 of hearts. You ask him to memorize this card, and you cut the deck. You approach the second spectator, the one in front of you, and the same thing. He's already standing because you ask all 3 to stand. You dribble force. He picks a card. Only him can see the card, but yes, it will be again the force card, the 10 of hearts. You cut again. You approach the third spectator, ask him to call out stop, show him the card, not allowing anyone else in the room to see the card, and yet is going to be the force card. Now, you look at the cards and you announce that you will try to locate the card that each of the 3 spectators is thinking of. You look at the first spectator, look him in the eyes, ask him to concentrate on the card, and you look through the deck till you take 1 card out. And you say, I think this is your card. You take it and you put it on the table face down. Of course, at this moment, you will not show the card, and the other information is that you just take any indifferent card of the deck. It's irrelevant, the identity of the card, as long as it is one of the indifferent cards and not the force card. Leave it on the table. You approach the second spectator and you say, now please, this is your turn. Concentrate on the card you are thinking. You look through the deck and you, maybe no. Oh, yeah, no, this one. And you pull out another indifferent card. Don't show it. Leave it on the table, face down. Now you look at the third spectator and you say the same thing. Please concentrate on the card. Yes, and oh, yours is a little bit more difficult. Oh, yeah, must have been this one. And this third time, you pull out of the deck one of the force cards, the 10 of hearts. You put it on the table. You think, I believe I am correct. I believe these are, yes, I believe these are your chosen cards. And as you make these remarks, you can change the order of the cards so the audience do not relate each card to each spectator, but what they see is that you pull out 3 cards and now you are claiming they are the 3 cards they have been thinking from the beginning. This is the moment where they are still standing and you announce that they should sit down if you name their card. And you can say, I believe that your cards are the Jack of Hearts, the 5 of Spades, and the 10 of Hearts. And as you announce the cards, you show them, and what will happen is that the 3 spectators will sit down, telegraphing to the audience that yes, you were able to locate the 3 freely chosen cards from the deck. Prediction. In this effect, you create the illusion that you are able to anticipate a later event. With the magic deck, the later event that you are able to anticipate is the free choice of a playing card. Well, in my case, that free choice will always result in the choice of the 10 of hearts. In order for it to be considered a prediction, you need to start by announcing that here there is a prediction. So in this case, I have an envelope with something inside. So there comes the moment where the spectator calls out stop. He chooses a card. Yes, everything's going well. It's the force card. And once it gets lost in the deck, you remind the audience that inside this envelope that was all the time in full view, even before the spectator called out stop and chose a card, there is your prediction. And inside, you can reveal something like a paper where you say that the spectator will choose the 10 of hearts. And that's an example of a prediction. Now, you can really get creative. Other examples would be, for instance, to have an envelope with a number, and you just write 17, for example. And if that would have been the case, now it's the time that after cutting several times, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like in the prediction. Yes, you found the chosen card. Another way would be to have that extra 10 of hearts that came with your magic deck simply inside an envelope. So you can say, well, this was my prediction and here it is. Yes, it's the perfect match. Another example still would be to have inside the box something. And in this case, you take a folded card from inside and you say, this was my prediction from the beginning. But actually is a joker. And you explain that the joker can assume the value of any card. But what they haven't seen yet is that behind this joker there's something written, and it's exactly the 10 of hearts. Again, you match the chosen card. And if you really want to get creative, you can even have a printed t-shirt with the chosen card. Of course, you'd be wearing a jacket, and on a certain moment you just open the jacket and you reveal your prediction. In this case, you don't need to announce it before, and the effect is similar. But this is just the beginning of a long road of creativity for you. Try to make amazing, surprising predictions. Reverse card. In this effect, you'll start with a dribble force, like usual. You ask spectator to call out stop. It does so. You show the card, and it's the force card, 10 of hearts. You leave it in the same place, and you cut and complete. Your job is done, because now you announce that you will make that the chosen card, wherever it might be, will turn itself around and become face up. Done. Look. In the middle, there's only one card that is reversed, and that's exactly the card chosen by the spectator. Well, in order to do this, which is very simple, it requires a little preparation. And the preparation is like so. You start with the magic deck in order. Let's say every second card is the force card. But what you need to do before presenting the trick is you need to reverse the second from last card. So no the indifferent card, but the following force card. It's already face up. And this is the starting position. Now, as you dribble force, it's very important that you do not start exactly from the first card dropping down, because immediately your secret will be exposed. So you start a little bit above the last card. You leave some cards, and now you do the dribble force like this. Okay, I'm going to pass card, and you say stop whenever you want. They do so. You show the card. It's the force card, the 10 of hearts. You leave it there. And now, because of the preparation, once you cut, everything is done. In the middle, what was before the second card from the bottom is now the reversed face-up card. You just do your presentation, and then you spread on the table, showing that the selected card just reversed itself in the middle of the deck. Now, you might want to finish up the trick in a way that the deck is immediately ready for your next effect. And in order to do so, it's very simple. You just grab this half, put it on top, reverse this card, and it's an instant reset. You can continue with your next trick. Magic dice. In this effect, you allow pure luck to find the chosen card. More or less. Let me explain. You start by asking the spectator to stop you, pick a card, and then you cut it into the deck, and then you spread cards on the table. But in order for you to see exactly where the forced cards are located and how we accomplish this effect where a dice thrown by the spectator determines whether this or that should be the chosen card, I'm going to use this magic deck where the forced cards are actually identified by having a red back. And in this case, the forced card is the 8 of spades. So, you dribble force, spectator says stop, of course he's going to stop at the forced card, in this case the 8 of spades. Now you will spread cards on the table in a way that will then make sense to throw the dice and eliminate those. You do 6 lines of 6 cards each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And finally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 cards. Probably at this time, the spectators already got the idea, and you say, okay, maybe that's enough. And you put these cards aside. Now comes the moment of the dice. You can give numbers to these lines and say, this is line number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. So let's choose a line. 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Make sure everybody understands that this is exactly the 3. That's why you announced it before. And because number 3 came out, you eliminate 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. You put it aside. Now you throw the dice again. And it's number 1. Well, because it's number 1, and you can see now where the force cards are, you would start counting from this side and go, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you got number 1, so this is the card. And yes, it will be the card. But let's imagine it comes out number 3. So it will be 1, 2, 3. And this is, again, the force card. Remember, they are marked red just for explanation purposes. If it was number 5, yes, again. So if the result of the dice is 1, 3, or 5, you start counting from this side. But let's imagine it was number 2. Well, you cannot count from this side because number 2 would be an indifferent card. But guess what? If the result is an even number, whenever you count from this side, we are covered. So, number 2, 1, 2. It's the force card. Number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the force card. And if it's a 6, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once again, as always, you arrive to the chosen card. And that's the magic dice. Marked card. In this effect, you apparently locate the chosen card through a system of markings on the back of the chosen card. Let me explain. You start the effect with the dribble force. Spectator calls out stop. Sees a card, yes, the force card, 10 of hearts. You leave the card in the deck and you cut and complete losing the chosen card. Now, you explain it is very difficult to locate the chosen card in the deck because all the backs look exactly the same. Would be great if you would have marked the card, so now just by looking to the deck you could find it. Well, it's never too late to do that. So you grab a permanent marker and you ask the spectator to, in an imaginary way, write a big cross on the back of the chosen card. You hold the deck at a distance, making sure that it only does it in an imaginary way. And he holds the pen and we ask him to make a big cross. So, okay, make a big cross, possibly on the back of the chosen card. And you can even say, no, you need to take away the cap first. And he does that, and now, yes, okay, he makes this big cross. Okay, done. That makes it very easy now to locate the card, because you only need to spread the deck and look for some sort of marking. And yes, here it is. That's the mark that the spectator just did, kind of. And let's see, what's the card? Yes, it's the chosen card. Well, to accomplish this is really, really simple. The only thing you need to do is, when you have the magic deck, before performing this trick, you need to have the second from last card in the deck already with a big cross, like this. And then you know how to do everything. Dribble force, see the card, cut, and complete. And inevitably, the card with the mark will appear in the center. And that's the marked card. The spinning fork, a very intriguing way to reveal the location of the chosen card. You start, like always, spectator picks a card, force card, 10 of hearts, you place it back in the deck, and then you make a series of cuts to lose the card in the deck, and then you will make several piles. You can leave some cards here, some cards here, some cards there, 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 and there. Now, of course, thanks to the way the magic deck works, in the top of each and every pile there is the force card. All of them. The audience doesn't know that. And you introduce the fork. You place it in the center of this arena. And you spin the fork. And you wait for the fork to decide which pile should we use. And clearly, the fork chose this one. Okay? You collect all the other piles, again, showing as many indifferent cards as possible in a casual way. You put them aside and say, aha, it chose this pile. You take away this card, and again, you put this away. And now, let's see. You ask the spectator to reveal the card he had chosen, and yes, the spinning fork just found it. Card from pocket. In this effect, once the spectator chose a card and saw it, yes, the force card, 10 of hearts, you lose the card in the deck through a series of cuts, and you announce that you'll do something really amazing. Because this time, the entire deck with the card that the spectator just chosen lost in it, you will place the deck inside your pocket. You show your hands completely clean, and you announce that even without looking, you will be able to locate the chosen card, which, no, not this one. Yes, this is the chosen card, you announce. Now, you remove the cards from the pocket, and you ask the spectator to reveal what's the identity of the chosen card, and then you show that you are correct. Card from pocket. Well, the only thing you need to perform this effect is to have, of course, the deck in magic deck order. And once you lose the card, which is going to be the force card, of course, you place the deck inside your pocket, but with the faces looking out and the backs closer to your body. You put the deck inside the pocket, and then you will just remove, saying midway you are removing it, that no, this is not the card. You will remove the indifferent card. So, hand goes in, you pretend to be looking for the card, and you take one, and this is all happening inside the pocket. No, it's not this one. You take away the card, and you leave it on the table. No, it's not this one. Now you go with your hand again, you take this card, oh yes, it's this. You bring it out, you might leave it on the table or hold it with your other hand, while the right hand brings the deck out. Again, they will see any different card. You can casually put this together and build up the moment. Spectator reveals the card, and you show that once again you are correct. Rising card. This makes for a spectacular revelation of the chosen card. Once the spectator is thinking of any card, force card, 10 of hearts, you lose the card in the deck through a series of cuts, and once the audience believes that the chosen card is lost somewhere in the middle of the deck, you announce that you'll be able to locate the chosen card with the help of your forefinger and a little bit of static electricity. You rub your finger on your jacket, and then you feel it's fully charged. Yeah, now it is, I believe. You place your finger on top of the short edge of the deck, and then you simply wait. You wait for the revelation, and slowly the chosen card will start rising in the deck. You can even show that it comes exactly from the middle of the deck, and the spectator will certainly confirm that this is the chosen card. Well, in order to do this, it's very simple. As usually, the chosen card is on top. It doesn't matter how many times you cut, it will always be on top. And you need to bevel a little bit the deck like this, and also make sure that you don't have members of the audience seeing from the sides, so the effect will be exposed. They need to see it from this angle. Very, very, very important. So you cannot notice the bevel. You announce the forefinger and the static electricity, but actually that does nothing. The way it works is like this. Now imagine this is the audience view and this is the exposed view. The finger comes on top, and up till here it's okay, nothing is happening. You rest the finger, and once the finger is resting on top of the deck, you extend your little finger, which touches the top card. And now this little finger brings the card till it touches on the forefinger, and now both of the fingers move, the hand moves, and thanks to the bevel, the card will keep going till about here. At this stage, the pinky of your left hand brings the deck up. And that's when you say, look, it's from the middle. And the spectator confirms it's the chosen card, and that's it. Rising card. Card on forehead. I'm sure you have seen many professional magicians finishing their card magic by producing the chosen card on the forehead. That is something you can now duplicate with the magic deck, and especially thanks to the fact that you also got an extra forcing card. Yes, in my case, an extra 10 of hearts. So what you would do is you ask him to say stop, he says stop, you show the chosen card, in this case, yes, the 10 of hearts. You leave the card there, you drop some cards, you can even make some remarks like, oh, you could have stopped here and this would be the card, or there, you could have chosen any card. And the only thing you do is you allow some packets of pairs to fall, and just make sure that, okay, you remember the card that you freely chose. Okay, let's lose the card in the deck through a series of cuts, and now I will try and find your card. But before, I would like you to shuffle the deck in a very surefire way. So you put all the cards on the table, and you invite the spectator to shuffle the cards. But you announce that you don't want to see anything, and you turn your back to the place where the magic is happening. When you turn your back, you just grab the extra card that is hidden inside your pocket, and you put it on the forehead, and then you turn around looking at the table, say, oh yes, please shuffle more, oh, it's going to be very hard to find. And the spectator will not look at you because he's busy doing something right now, and then you can just wait for him to finish and eventually for him to look at you, realizing that his chosen card is on your forehead. Now, if you have a very dry skin, which is not my case, once you are with your back turned to the audience, just lick a little bit of the back of the card and there's no problem. It's going to get stuck there. And this is card on forehead. Photo prediction. Here is an effect where you can use someone's phone or even social media. Basically, all the versions of the photo prediction start with you taking a selfie holding the prediction. Perfect. So once you have the picture, you can do many things with it. You can, for example, if you know that later when you are going to be performing some tricks with the magic deck, you know someone that is going to be at that place at that time, just send a message with the picture to the phone you already have, the phone number you already have, asking for that person not to comment this picture with anyone. That's one way. The second way would be to do it with someone that you just met. You ask for the phone number so you can send a message. Once you get the phone number, you send this picture and you instruct the spectator to not look at the message yet. And then you ask the spectator to choose a card. They will choose the fourth card, the 10 of hearts. You can even emphasize that they could have chosen any of the other 52 different cards. There was no way that you could know what would be the chosen card. And then you ask to go and open the message. And when they open the message, that's the picture of you holding the card. This is one way. The other way would be to post the picture on social media a couple of minutes before performing this trick and then instruct your audience to go and look for your account, whether it is on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. Once they are there, they will be surprised with the revelation. And you might as well ask them to start following you. Lucky guess. For this routine, you'll need to use a ring. It can either be your own ring or the ring of one of the spectators. And as always, spectator picks a card, memorizes it, 10 of hearts. You lose the card in the deck through a series of cuts, and then you separate the deck into two piles. And you ask the spectator to place the ring on top of the pile he wants. And let's imagine he puts it here. This will represent that we eliminate these cards. And as we eliminate those, because we need, it's always interesting to show as many different faces as possible, we turn it face up and we leave it on the table. And then we give the ring back to the spectator. We do one more time two piles like this. Spectator chooses one of the piles by placing the ring, okay, maybe once there again, and you eliminate these cards. You place them here. Spectator again takes the ring. You make two piles. Spectator chooses this one. You eliminate these cards. And you repeat this procedure till the moment where by eliminating cards like this, you end up with two cards in each pile. So spectator chooses one, you eliminate the other, put it there. At this stage, when you already have only two cards, one of them is the fourth card, the other is a different card, you ask the spectator to place the ring on his finger. You separate the cards and you ask the spectator to wave the hand on top of one, to wave the hand on top of the other, and then simply instruct him to push one of the cards in your direction. And two things might happen. Let's say he pushes this card, the fourth card, into your direction. So the natural consequence would be, okay, put it there, and naturally drag all the attention to this absolutely free choice, to this process of elimination. And you are clean. But let's imagine for a moment that when you tell the spectator to push one card towards you, he pushes this card. Well, the same thing. You just grab it, and place it there. And now, naturally, the attention is on this card, and naturally they will be thinking that this is the result of a series of free choices made by the spectator. And you come to an ending by revealing that yes, it is the chosen card. Finger stuck. It's always good when you can involve several spectators in the same effect. And in this case, you ask one of the spectators to call out stop and to choose a card, 10 of hearts, put it back in the deck, and then lose it. Somewhere in the middle is the chosen card. And now you will involve a second spectator. You ask him to use the forefinger and to be ready to stick the finger in the deck as you riffle the deck. Now in this case you hold it by its base, the deck like this, and you just do this. Well, first let's see what we can see. When riffling this way you only see indifferent cards, but also they are falling in pairs. And if a spectator now would stick his finger while I am doing this, it will always stick the finger in between pairs. Let me demonstrate what actually happens. So let's imagine I am the spectator, I am riffling and I go, whoop, okay, and I stop at the forced card. Once again, I would be riffling. Of course, the situation would be holding like this, you, magician, and now saying, please insert your finger, stick your finger anywhere you want as I riffle the deck. But the result of this series of actions, it's this one. And then you realize that the second spectator could have stopped on this card. It could have stopped on the following one. But no, he stopped right here, and that's the selected card. And this is finger stuck. Calendar. Here is a fantastic effect with a little bit of preparation, but not too much. You start the presentation by pointing out attention to a little booklet of birthdays, a calendar, and explaining that in each of the days of the year, you decided to allocate a different playing card. And you can give examples. For the 7th of February, you have the 9 of spades. And let's say for the 27th of May, the 5 of clubs. And so on throughout the entire 12 months of the year. Each day, one playing card. Now comes the moment where you'll ask the spectator to choose a card. You dribble the cards, you say stop, it chooses a card. 10 of hearts, my first card. You leave it in the deck, you lose it through a series of cuts, and now you can even explain that there's an intimate connection between each playing card and each day of the year. For example, they might not know this, but 2 of spades is very much a Monday card, and 6 of hearts, Thursdays, all the time. Yes, 4 of clubs, it's next month. So you can explain all of this while you are taking advantage of the moment to show all the different faces of the magic deck. You leave it aside, spectator remembers the card, he might have even showed it to the audience, and you open the booklet. You go, today is, let's imagine it's the 23rd of August. Today is the 23rd of August. You go to August and you realize that on the 23rd, the card that corresponds to this day is exactly the 10 of hearts, the chosen card. This is very impressive for an audience that just witnessed that he could have chosen any card and each day has a card. And it's actually very simple to prepare. The only thing you need is to carry a pencil, yes, and a rubber. So once you decide that you are going to perform the trick, you need to remember what day it is. And let's say if it is the 27th of August, you come to the 27th day of August, you erase whatever you have written there, and you write the initials that correspond to your force card on your magic deck. And that's it. You are always ready for a fantastic trick. Calendar. Unseen card. It's an effect by Walter Gibson, and it's based on a kind of a science fiction plot. You ask the spectator on your left to call out stop and then to remove the card without looking at it, even placing it inside his pocket. This card is taken by spectator 1. Spectator 2, same thing. You ask him to call out stop, but in this case, he will see the card. Of course, it's going to be the first card, the 10 of hearts. You lose the card, you cut several times and complete, and now you ask spectator number 2 if he can see his card in the deck. The answer will be no. He cannot see his card here, although he just saw it. He just picked one from here. That's the moment where you turn to spectator 1 and say, well, you took one at the beginning, even before spectator 2 saw it. Can you please bring out that card? And when the spectator 1 brings out the card, it's exactly the one that was seen by spectator 2. Well, in order to accomplish this, it's very simple. You start with the normal order on your magic deck, and you just force the same card 2 times. They call out stop and takes a card without seeing. Second spectator, call out stop, will see the card, and then you just do the riffle display. Once asked if they saw the card, the answer will be no, and this gives you the right mood to say, well, it's not here, but you have picked a card before that was not even in the deck when you... And then they bring out the card, and yes, it's the chosen card. That's unseen card. Stopwatch. In this effect, you'll find the chosen card by apparently being interrupted by your phone. And it's very simple to prepare. The only thing you need is to set up your stopwatch for, let's say, 10 seconds. Don't start it yet. Now let me explain what needs to go on in your mind as you deal cards over the table. So you've got the selection, it's a 10 of hearts, you lost it through a series of cuts, and now you will deal cards over the table one at a time. Now we know that due to the properties of the magic deck that the top card is a force card. The next, it's an indifferent card, followed by a force card and another indifferent card, and so on throughout the entire deck. Now, it's not practical to be in your mind repeating force card, indifferent card, force card, indifferent card, force card. No, but it's very simple if you replace force card for yes and indifferent card for no. So this is going to be the inner dialogue that while you are performing, you can have running in your mind. As you deal cards over the table, you will constantly attaching one of these words, yes or no, to each card, which sounds very complicated, but it's not. It's lots of fun. Try it. So the card is lost, and you are ready to start dealing cards on the table, always with in mind following each card with one word. In this case would be yes, no, yes, no, yes, being always a place where you are holding a force card, and no, yes, no, being the moment where you have in your hand an indifferent card. So, let's demonstrate. You just turn on your stopwatch and you press start. 10 seconds or more, but let's try it since I'm still explaining. I'm going to place it for, let's say, 15 seconds. You press start and you start dealing cards, thinking yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. And because it starts ringing with a yes, you just hold to it. You know that this is a forced card. The phone just started ringing and you can show it. If you are caught with the ringing while having a no card, just speed letting this card on the table, so it would be no, and grab the next one. And again, you'll be stopping on a yes. If you don't want to set the alarm yourself, this is even something you can ask the spectator. Ask them to use their phones and to set the stopwatch for between 10 and 30 seconds, or 10 and 25, and not tell you for how long did they set the stopwatch. And once again, it's going to be lots of fun going yes, no, and making sure that when you hear the phone, you have a yes card on your hand. And that's stopwatch.